Hello friends, welcome back to 9 Little Aussies. It is a very hot day here in Texas. We are sweating it out. I don't know, you may not be able to see. My husband and my big boys are over there trying to shore up the chicken area. We got some, I need to come out here and fix this, but these, some over here. We had another one of those crazy Texas storms come through and knock things down. And I am just out this afternoon. Sorry, I'm not being very gentle with you, am I? Harvesting. I'm just grabbing some things for a quick, easy dinner. Let me see if I can get some good light. So got my little basket, I'm gonna pick some salad. So I made a potato salad and with potatoes out of our garden. I'm gonna pick some cucumbers, tomatoes and some green beans, just some snacky kind of things to go with it. With, what else am I having? Oh, some cold chicken that I'd cooked the other day. And I've got a focaccia in the oven, a sourdough focaccia, which is nearly ready. But I thought I would take this opportunity to bring you with me while I do a little garden harvest. Let's see what we can find. A few sweet little cucumbers. They grow so fast. I did a bunch of bread and butter pickles the other day and canned them, and I've done some dill pickles. I like the dill pickles more. I like them not quite as sweet, but my hubby and the kids like the sweet bread and butter pickles, and so do my in-laws. And they're here with us, so they are all excited about bread and butter pickles. So they now have to wait. They're sitting on the pantry shelf, finishing their preparations. And I was just thinking, it occurred to me the other day, I've been having this little thought kick around my head, and I wanted to share it with you because I think it might be relevant to more than just myself. I'm actually trying to put my thoughts down on paper, which does helps me to think while I write. Man, it's only a couple of days since we were out here, maybe 2 days since we got cucumbers. And this thing is covered. It's crazy how fast they grow. I think I saw, was it Ruth Ann Zimmerman or someone did a 30-minute time lapse of cucumbers growing, and it was insane how much they grew in just 30 minutes. So no wonder we've got so many cucumbers. And these are nearly ready, I think. These are cream peas. So I have to check in with my friend Theresa, who gave me the seeds, about how to tell when they're just ready. I don't know whether to keep going or stop with these cucumbers. So the thought I had the other day, I was thinking about the similarities and differences between my childhood and the way I was raised and my husband's. I grew up on the land, on property. So what would be called here a ranch. So the first, about 14 years of my life was on a sheep and cattle property. We had Herefords and Merinos, and down in the mountains of southern New South Wales. And then my dad injured his back really badly, and we moved to flat country, which he thought would be easier on his back. And we had a dairy farm. We bought a dairy farm in northern Victoria, along the Murray River. And so I lived there then until I was 17 or 18 when we moved to the city. And so my entire childhood was farming. And I grew up working in the yards with the cattle, milking cows or mustering, and walking up the paddock for hours on end, hoeing thistles and fixing fences. And I grew up watching my dad butcher all of our own animals and harvest them. And I don't know, that was normal to me. That was my everyday. We lived quite a far, especially on the sheep and cattle property, quite a far way out of town. So it was not, we did a big shop once a month and went into town for groceries, but mostly we would go weeks without seeing anyone, or just seeing the odd neighbour every now and then. And the neighbours were they were miles away. Thinking miles, not, so they would have been, I don't know. I'm actually really bad at judging distances, but they were way down the valley. You could never hear or see them. So I'm thinking, what would that have been? Several kilometres, a few miles, I'm not sure. Anyway, it was a good way off. And so everything is languishing in my garden under this hot Texan sun. It's really starting to struggle. I mean, we're still getting a harvest every day. I'm gonna have to try and tie that poor sunflower up. There's not as many beans on here as I thought there might be, but we did pick a bunch just the other day. So that was, I grew up working hard physically and used to life and death on the farm, used to, I don't know, just everything that goes with that kind of life. My husband grew up in the city. He grew up where the shops were always 5 minutes away. He played a lot of sport, and so he was very physically capable, but did not grow up around animals or around any kind of hard physical work very much. Just a very, very different life, a very urban, your typical sort of urban life. Well, maybe not typical. He was a missionary kid, so he had that, which is not everyone's every day. But, so this whole life that we're living now is very different to him. Like, I feel like when we decided years ago that we were going to try and find more land and live in a place that we could grow our own food and had more space for the kids, to me, when we started homesteading, it was just like coming home. It was completely comfortable and normal and peaceful and joyful for me. But for him, it's been like moving to a foreign land. And I've just sort of seen this parallel lately of my move to this new land of America and all of the culture shock that I have gone through. Okay, I'm back. I had to go and get the bread out of the oven. So yeah, I've just been noticing and thinking about all of these really common experiences, but from a very different, for different reasons, different perspective. All right. Let's see. See how many more beans we can find. Got a couple of my kids that absolutely love green beans, just fresh green beans. So these are not very big right now, but they do taste good. So we're going to go ahead and eat some tonight. So yeah, I've been thinking about how when I landed here and I got off that plane, I pretty much spent the first 6 months just bamboozled by so many things that were foreign and new. And I was in kind of shock about it because I honestly thought that it wouldn't be like that. I thought, I've been married into an American family for 20 years. Like, I'm pretty familiar with, you know, some of the food they eat and little word differences. But they had been over there, like my in-laws had been there since the 70s. And my husband had gone back and forward, but a lot of his childhood was in Australia. So I guess they were kind of very Australianized, if I don't think that's a word. But so yeah, it was just such a shock from everything from the food, the language, cultural norms and things that were, you know, little sayings and things that I would say and not be understood. The roads, the traffic, like, terrified me. It was just, I could not get my brain to wrap around the concept of driving on the other side of the road, number one, and like four-way stops. We do not have those. We have a lot of roundabouts, but just anyway, just traffic differences and what else? The food, there's a lot of Mexican influence here, which I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't really expect or realize that was going to be a thing. And yeah, just a lot of, like, I would get confused about things. I would get overwhelmed by the thought of having to go grocery shopping, of having to walk through the supermarket and all the labels are different, all of the names of things that, you know, like I've talked before about how as a baker and I'm making bread and the names of flowers was different. So like, that's just one little example, but when that difference applies to just about everything, it's really overwhelming. And confusing. And I've shared a little bit of that on here on different videos. But what just struck me so much recently as I was thinking through all of this is how much there are so many people who are taking this leap into homesteading, finding a bit of land somewhere and starting to grow a garden or raise chickens or get a pig or a cow or whatever it may be. People who have known nothing but an urban lifestyle. They've not known what it is to pour your heart and soul into something and then have it die, or to have weather completely undermine your plans for the year, or even just, honestly, even just having to work really hard physically day after day after day. And I don't say that with any judgment whatsoever. I think I've watched him go We're through so many things that he has never experienced before, and push through a lot of confusion, misunderstanding, uncertainty, fear, all these things that I've had to push through in the last 6 to 12 months, the last 12 months, as I adapt and learn how to live in this new country. And I thought it's a foreign land. It's a foreign land for people who have moved to the land, moved to a rural agrarian lifestyle where things are achieved by the sweat of your brow, where life and death is often really in your face, and your reliance and susceptibility to the weather is unavoidable. All of these things that I grew up with and are as comfortable as an old pair of boots. It doesn't, like, I don't like digging post holes or hoeing out thistles all afternoon, but I can do it without too much trouble. It's not a biggie. It's not a big deal to me. It's
Hey, sexy mama.
There he is, the man himself. I am harvesting beans.
You're doing great. I love you.
I love you. Dinner won't be long.
Okay.
I tell you, he's a keeper. Yeah, but it's just really, that thought has just really struck me. I'll say that these people who are delving into this world of growing your own food and living, and I think an agrarian lifestyle is probably the best way to describe it.
They're so small.
Yes, they're not as big, are they, sweet girl?
Why are they so small?
Well, I harvested just a couple of days ago, and I'm just being a little greedy and taking some for dinner. But it's a brave thing to do, I guess, is what I'm getting to. Okay, I've got, let me see, got a few cucumbers, a few beans, and I'm going to grab some tomatoes. Hey, oh look, some bug got some of these. A bird probably. I bet you that was a bird up high like that.
Or it was a bug that climbed really, really high.
A bug that climbed high? Maybe. I'm going to get these and put them inside.
It was climbing the beanstalk. Except it's not really a beanstalk to us. But like the beanstalk?
Oh, Jack and the Beanstalk?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get this
It
one.
was like climbing the beanstalk.
Okay, so yeah, it has just been on my mind. You need to hold that. Don't drop them, darling.
The big tomatoes.
Yes, Mummy will get them.
The big one.
And as you can probably tell, I mean, I love this life, but I have watched my husband just come alive as he has lived closer to the land, and he has developed skills, and he has pushed himself to learn new things, and he is absolutely thriving in what to him is a foreign land. He did not grow up this way. Are you going to pick some? Okay. Oh, it's a wee baby little sunflower. It's not a very strong looking one.
Because it doesn't have that back of it.
Hold this. So
It
there's
doesn't
another
have
one.
like these, Mama.
Now I'm going to pick these even though they're not 100% ripe, because they'll finish ripening. So a few more of these.
Here. Look at that one, Mommy.
It is so hot out here.
I know, just came out here.
You just came out and you're
Mom,
already?
look at that tiny one.
Yeah.
They're so tiny. Why are they so tiny?
Tiny orange little globes. We'll get all these.
No,
These
they
guys
don't-
are doing really good.
They're
This
not
is
tomato. I don't like
a hybrid of some
tomatoes
kind.
globes. Yucky. I don't like this.
Well, you're not fond of tomatoes, are you? But
I'm not fond of tomato globes.
let's see what else we can get here. Some of these are ready. Oops, sorry. Oh no, I dropped one.
I don't want to get that when they escape again.
Well, Daddy's trying to fix it so they don't escape.
Probably still don't escape, but not that much maybe.
Now, some of these got eaten by something, but a good amount of these are good. I'll put it in the basket.
I finally picked the tomato.
Let me see.
I don't want it. I'm so hot.
I love the smell of tomato. You can go inside, honey, if you want. I know it's hot.
Tomatoes.
I love it. I love the smell of tomatoes. And as you brush against the vine,
I don't like it. That's one of the things I don't like about tomatoes. No. And the inside gooey part of the side.
You don't like that. Let's see. Oh, there's a bug. That one's for my mouth.
Why?
Because it's so yummy. Do you see any eggplants that are ready, Gracie? It's okay. What? It's okay, darling.
Eggplant's white and purple. Purple and white.
Well, actually, we have 3 different varieties of eggplant growing. So we have
Oh, the long one.
we have a long green one.
Yeah, the long green one, and we have the purple and white one,
So
and we have the small one, just plain purple.
we've got this long one,
Yeah, that's the purple.
and then the black beauties. They're up the other end, I think. Just have to see.
Mom.
These guys aren't quite ready yet,
Yeah, way more than sweet. These are the black.
but they are going to be beautiful.
Black beauty.
We're finding a lot of tomatoes ready.
Those two over there. Mom. Those two over there.
Yeah, I'll get them.
Ants are attacking everything.
Yeah, are they? Well, they're on everything. It doesn't mean they're attacking. Some things they might be eating.
Oh, Mommy.
Well, look at this.
I said
All the other
I'm the big beanstalk. Jack the beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk.
I think it was ants that climbed Jack the beanstalk.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah, ants climb Jack the beanstalk. Zion, look, we're picking these ones.
Okay, I think we've got enough for dinner and a few extras that we really didn't need for dinner. But anyway, we picked them. They needed to come off the vine. So I just thought I'd share that with you. That little thought that has been kind of rolling around my head, and thinking to myself, I just have so much respect now, even more so than I did, for people who are living in a foreign land, whether that be a physically foreign land, or if it might just mean totally shifting your culture and your family's culture and your way of living and your life from an urban setting. And mind you, it is more of a mindset. I think you can actually have this mindset in an urban area where it's almost like a shift from being a consumer to being a producer. And you can do that on a very small amount of land in a little backyard. I mean, we did that in Australia before we were able to have more space. We were growing food and kind of homesteading on a little urban lot. So it's not really about the size of the land, it's about the mindset. But I understand now what it is to be in a place that is foreign and confusing and challenging and just different. Oh, little man, you want a hug? Different from everything you've ever known. And I just have so much respect for that. I am so proud of my husband for all that he has already, you're under Mummy's hat, for all that he has already achieved and learnt and grown and, pushed through. So proud of him. He just never gives up. And I love that about him. I love that. So I am going inside. Had to switch hands. So take them for what they are, just musings of a little Aussie living in a home away from home. But I appreciate you being here. I love how this little community has developed and how we can be an encouragement to one another, even though we perhaps have never met online, other than online. But that's a blessing too. So sunshine and raindrops to all of you, my friends, and we'll see you next time. I'm just going to show you real quick, pop back on here before I go. Look at all these that we picked. My friend Melissa gave them to us. They're called, on the packet it said Mississippi pink eye. And I've had people come through the garden and say they look the same as purple hull peas. Yes, cucumber. And lots of tomatoes. Yes, lovely tomatoes. But anyway, so I've got these and they're just starting to come, like we've got a big couple of handfuls of them. I'm going to take them inside, but I have no idea what to do with them. So my fellow Americans who have grown these before or know what to do with them, either Mississippi pink eye or maybe purple hull peas, but on the packet it said Mississippi pink eye. And I need to know recipes or how to prepare them, what to do to make them into a yummy meal for my family. So please hit me with your best ideas. All right, we'll see you later, guys.